Welcome to today's episode where we tell you everything about the legendary hero Achilles. You will learn how he became nearly invincible and why his heel was the only weak point. Also, did you know there were some divine interventions from the gods themselves? Even during the Trojan War, there were events that lead to sudden but crucial turning points. Let's start with his birth and why he was disguised as a girl. Achilles is a character in Greek mythology who embodies the drama and charisma of the stories. His birth is as intriguing as the hero himself. Born to King Peleus of the Myrmidons and the sea nymph Thetis, Achilles was destined for greatness from the start. Thetis, his mother, wanted him to be invincible. To achieve this, she took a risky step. She held Achilles by the heel and submerged him into the mystical river Styx, known for its power to grant invincibility. Thetis believed she had ensured her son's invulnerability, but she overlooked one crucial detail: the heel she held onto during the process. This oversight played a significant role in Achilles' later challenges. In the younger years of Achilles, Thetis decided to disguise him as a girl because a prophecy that foretold his fate in the Trojan War. Thetis, aware of the prophecy that her son would either die a glorious but young death in battle or live a long, mundane life, sought to protect him from the perils of war. By dressing him as a girl and sending him to the court of King Lycomedes, she hoped to keep him hidden and safe. At the court of King Lycomedes on the island of Skyros, Achilles assumed the identity of a maiden among the king's daughters. The intention was to keep him away from the potential call to arms for the Trojan War. However, fate had other plans. Odysseus, known for his intelligence and cunning, uncovered Achilles' true identity. In some versions of the story, Odysseus employed a clever ruse. He presented various items, including weapons and armor, amidst a gathering of maidens. Among these items, he placed a shield and a spear. The true nature of Achilles was revealed when he was irresistibly drawn to the weapons, exposing his warrior instincts. Once revealed, Achilles could no longer avoid his destiny. His concealment among the maidens came to an end, and he would go on to play a crucial role in the events leading to and during the Trojan War, fulfilling the prophecy that Thetis had sought to evade. Achilles, nicknamed Swift-Footed by his comrades, wasn't solely the result of his parents' ambitions. He was a product of destiny, choice, and circumstance. His quick understanding, strategic wisdom, and formidable battle skills were influenced by his tutor, the wise centaur Chiron, known for his exceptional teaching abilities. Achilles was a mighty warrior known for his almost invincible nature, except for his vulnerable heel. This particular weakness didn't diminish his overall strength on the battlefield. Unyielding in the face of defeat or death, Achilles instilled fear in his enemies. Blessed by the gods, he possessed incredible speed and strength. Despite his exceptional abilities, Achilles displayed human emotions, notably his quick temper. His striking appearance garnered attention from both allies and enemies. Achilles was seen as a heroic figure with a powerful physique. A crucial symbol is his armor, which has its own story in the epic of the Trojan War. His first armor was made by Hephaestus, who was a god known for making godly things. Achilles lost this armor during a battle. Then, he needed new armor to continue fighting, so Hephaestus created another set. This armor was very special and strong. The shield, part of this armor, had many pictures on it. These pictures showed scenes of life, including the planet, the ocean, and the sky, as well as two cities where people were carrying on with their everyday lives. They also depicted a king's house where a wedding and a feast were taking place, fields where people worked, and a vineyard where people were picking grapes. These images on Achilles' armor showed what life was like during ancient times in Greece. They showed what people did every day, what they celebrated, and how they worked. These scenes also reminded the warriors what they were fighting for, their home and their lifestyle. Achilles' spear and helmet were vital parts of his armor and identity as a warrior. His spear, named Pelion Ash, held significance as it was a gift from Chiron, a centaur and Achilles' tutor during his childhood. This spear was made from ash wood from Mount Pelion and was formidable in battle. Only Achilles was strong and skillful enough to wield it. His helmet, like the rest of his armor crafted by Hephaestus, was not only a protective gear, but also had symbolic meaning. The descriptions of the helmet are less detailed compared to the shield in the Iliad, but many depictions in pottery and sculpture show it as a typical Greek warrior's helmet, known as a Corinthian helmet, which covered the entire head and neck. with slits for the eyes and mouth. Now that we know about his birth and gear, let's find out why he was so important during the Trojan War. Get ready for some twists and turns. The Iliad by Homer Achilles represents the epitome of Greek heroism, his name echoing through time. One critical episode unfolds when King Agamemnon, the leader of the Greek forces, takes away Achilles' war prize, Briseis. This incident serves as a turning point that triggers a series of profound emotions and decisions for the famed warrior. Briseis, captured as a war prize, holds immense significance for Achilles. She represents not only material gain, but also personal honor and pride. The act of taking away Briseis from Achilles is a direct affront to his status and a violation of the unwritten code of honor among the Greek warriors. This action by Agamemnon strikes at the core of Achilles' identity, challenging his worth and diminishing his standing among his peers. Fury, an emotion synonymous with Achilles' character, surges within him. The perceived injustice of having his prized possession unjustly seized ignites a blazing anger that threatens to consume him. Achilles, a hero of unparalleled strength and prowess, finds himself caught in a tumultuous storm of emotions: wounded pride, deep-seated anger, and a sense of betrayal. Athena, with her roles as the goddess of wisdom and warfare, played a significant part in supporting Achilles. In this heated argument with Agamemnon, Athena descended from Olympus to calm Achilles and prevent him from acting impulsively. She whispered wise counsel to him, persuading him to show restraint. In response to this affront, Achilles makes a pivotal decision, a decision that will reverberate across the battlefield and alter the course of the Trojan War. He chooses to refuse participation in the ongoing conflict. This refusal is not a mere act of petulance, but a powerful statement, a withdrawal of his formidable presence from the collective Greek effort. Achilles, the indomitable force, stands apart, withholding his strength from the very war he was destined to shape. This refusal has profound consequences, as it leaves the Greek forces without their most formidable warrior. The absence of Achilles on the battlefield shifts the balance of power, tipping it in favor of the Trojans. The consequences of his decision echo through the subsequent events of the war, exposing the intricate interplay between personal honor, collective destiny, and the volatile nature of human emotions. But at this point, the story takes another unsuspected turn. Achilles returned to the battlefield. Patroclus, Achilles' dear friend or possible lover according to some interpretations, was very concerned about the Greeks losing. Hoping to change the course of the battle, he asked Achilles if he could wear his armor. The idea was to deceive the Trojans into thinking that Achilles had returned to the fight. Achilles agreed to this plan. Patroclus joined the battle, impersonating Achilles, and fought bravely, killing many Trojans. However, he was eventually slain by Hector, the prince of Troy, who believed he was killing Achilles. When Achilles learned of Patroclus's death, he was consumed with grief and rage. He swore to avenge Patroclus, marking his return to the battlefield. Athena, in a memorable scene from the Iliad where Achilles confronts Hector, tricked Hector into facing Achilles in battle. This led to his revenge-fueled killing of Hector, which massively shifted the victory to the side of the Greeks. Besides Athena, there were other gods that intervened in the story of Achilles. Here is how Poseidon and Apollo are connected to him. Poseidon, as the god of the sea, held considerable power and had a complex relationship with the city of Troy. Allegedly, he and Apollo built the city's impregnable walls as a punishment for rebelling against Zeus. However, the Trojans failed to give Poseidon due recognition for this task, generating his animosity towards them. In the Trojan War, Poseidon primarily favored the Greeks, likely due to his grudge against the Trojans. This bias came to the fore in a demonstration of divine intervention during a major incident involving Achilles. The river Scamander, personified as a god, took offense at Achilles for filling his waters with Trojan bodies and challenged the warrior. To further complicate matters, Apollo, an ardent supporter of the Trojans, caused the river to swell dangerously in an attempt to drown Achilles. Just when it seemed Achilles would succumb to these combined divine factors, Poseidon stepped in. He came to Achilles' aid, openly defying Apollo and Scamander, and helped Achilles make it to the shore safely. Poseidon's actions didn't stem just from his fondness for Achilles. It was also an assertion of his own dignity and a statement against the Trojans' snub. The gods often manipulated mortal heroes for their own purposes, emphasizing the heroic stature of figures like Achilles. Despite Achilles narrowly escaping the clutches of Poseidon, Apollo wasn't ready to let the hero off the hook. Determined and relentless, the sun god had a score to settle. A quick but fun side note, Achilles also had an immortal horse named Xanthus. According to some versions of the myth, Xanthus possessed the ability to speak and foretell the future. During the epic battle between Achilles and Hector, the Trojan prince, Xanthus, reportedly spoke to Achilles, predicting his imminent death. However, despite Xanthus's warning, Achilles continued to fight. Returning to the story, Hector kills Patroclus, who was a close friend of Achilles. Achilles returns to the battle and confronts Hector. They engage in a fierce and furious one-on-one battle, and Hector, despite being a formidable warrior himself, is slain by Achilles. After that, in a display of excessive mourning and wrath, Achilles drags Hector's body with his chariot around the walls of Troy and refuses to return it to the Trojans for proper burial rites. The gods, upset by this, intervene, and Hector's body is returned to the Trojans. In a fateful turn, a lethal arrow, guided by the hands of Apollo and unleashed by Prince Paris of Troy, the brother of Hector, seeks out Achilles' vulnerable heel, sealing the hero's destiny in an epic and untimely demise. Even when this story is very old, the term Achilles' heel is still used in modern language and comes from the tale of Achilles and his legendary vulnerability. It's now used to describe a specific weakness or vulnerability in a person, system, or organization, even if they are generally strong or robust. Similar to how Achilles, despite being a powerful warrior, had one fatal weak spot, this term signifies a crucial vulnerability that can lead to downfall, regardless of overall strength. The phrase has found its way into various fields, like business, where it might point to a company's key weakness, or in sports, describing an athlete's consistent limiting flaw. On a broader level, Achilles' story and this metaphor highlight the human condition, where nobody is invincible or flawless. Every individual or entity, no matter their power, has vulnerabilities. Just as Achilles' invincibility didn't shield him from his inevitable fall, in reality, overconfidence or neglecting weaknesses can lead to unexpected failure. We've come to the end of our story today. I want to thank you all for tuning in. It's thanks to viewers like you that we can revive the tales of the past. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to join our community, feel free to subscribe, like, and share this video. Until next time.